lowest, greatest, highest, I will come to thee.
If I asked you to name one of the most famous paintings that come to your mind, most of you would probably say the Mona Lisa. Now, this was a painting done by Leonardo da Vinci. And if you look at the painting real close, I never even noticed this before, but she doesn't have eyebrows. Now, one thing I learned about Mona Lisa is that Da Vinci, he spent about 4 years painting on this thing. There's all kinds of rumors surrounding about who this lady was and how it may have possibly been him and things like this. But anyway, we have this piece of artwork that has become very famous. But the question is why did it become so famous? Well, this particular piece of artwork, it ended up in some dignitaries' houses and ended up in Napoleon's hands at one point. But then whenever he left, it ended up finding itself in the Louvre at France. And it was there for like about 11 years and people didn't really pay that much attention to it. But then all of a sudden, an Italian decided to steal the Mona Lisa. And so he took it and he kept it underneath his bed for a couple of years. And I can't remember the name of the book that was writing about this, but a man was writing about this instance, and he said that in that 2 years that the Mona Lisa was gone from the Louvre, and it was just that blank place on the wall, that more people came to stare at that blank place where the Mona Lisa was than all the people combined over the last 11 years that had went to the Louvre before that. So as people began to realize that they had this artwork that was missing, and they were just wondering what in the world was going on, why was it stolen? And they began to investigate the history of it and looking at some of the details of this painting. It ended up becoming, again, one of the most famous paintings that we have today. And so what this is all about is the idea is that a lot of people have things that are right before them, but they don't pay a lot of attention to it. They just take it for granted until it's gone. Now, you can apply this in many, many different ways. One of the ways you could apply it to is, make sure that you pay attention to your loved ones, whether it's your husband, your wife, your children, or a friend. Just realize they're not always going to be there. I know it may seem like it, but if all of a sudden they're gone, then you're really going to miss them and you're going to really realize how important they were to your life. So don't allow yourself to find yourself in a situation where you just take people like this for granted. This could also be applied to different things in your life, just things that you enjoy doing, like walking or just having good health. And so don't take these things for granted. But perhaps one of the things that people do this with more than anything else is God. God is here. God has always been here. He created us. He loves us. He's given us His beautiful Word. He tells us everything we need in order to be saved. And even though we have so many different versions of the Bible, we have so many things that show that He does exist and that His promises are true, yet many people take Him for granted. But one day, you may find yourself in a bad situation. You may die, or Jesus may return. And here you had all this opportunity to be able to enjoy and to be able to embrace God's Word and all that He has to offer us, but you chose not to. Of course, one big difference is once you die, or once Jesus returns, there's no second chances. You're not going to have a second chance to be able to all of a sudden get in to God's Word and start living for Him because you had your opportunity. And so what I hope you get from this lesson is, again, look at those things that are around you, whether it's people or something or your health or God. Don't take those things for granted. Take advantage of them and realize how important they are in your life right now. And do what you can to enjoy all these things that we have been blessed with.